So today I'm going to be chatting with you guys about the benefits of using sign language as a bridge to communication, and specifically for children ages 0 to 5. So just some information about our MHSA grant. This presentation is funded through the Mental Health Services Act, which is also known as MHSA. This FAST grant is in partnership with California Department of Developmental Services, and Redwood Coast Regional Center is solely responsible for the content of this presentation. The Department of Developmental Services has not developed, reviewed, or approved the contents. So what is sign language? It's a couple different things. There's not like a general definition, but I wanted to highlight these aspects. It's a visual form of language that uses body movements and facial expression to convey meaning between people. It's also a non-vocal language that deaf people exclusively depend on to connect with their social environment. I wanted to highlight this because I thought it was really important to emphasize that deaf people depend on language to connect with their social environment. Lip reading, and depending on other factors is not enough. This language is also used by families who have deaf family members and other hearing individuals who cannot use speech. So why should you sign with your child? Well, we all know babies cannot speak, but they can move their hands and fingers and their body movements. So it's actually really helpful that to use sign language before they can actually use verbal speech. And when a child cannot use speech to express their wants and needs, they may become frustrated, which I'm sure all of us have experienced. Being able to communicate using their hands and body movements has the potential to fill that communication gap before they're able to vocalize their wants and needs. Young children can communicate their wants and needs through signs before they can vocalize them. And that's using their hands, their body, and even their facial expressions as well. Signing can also provide an opportunity for positive interaction between caregiver and child. I've seen this personally in preschool setting. Sign language was part of the curriculum, and it was really great to have children use it before they could speak. They would say all done. They could ask for more food. They could even tell us they had to go to the bathroom during potty training if they wanted to try. By using sign language, a child will be able to communicate and also see that they are communicators. When you sign with a child, they'll see that their message is received and acted upon, and this will boost their coping skills, social awareness, and emotional development. Studies have actually shown that introducing sign language from a young age can help children with their coping skills, social, emotional development, and self-awareness. Signing with your children can also allow them to have access to multi-modes of communication or total communication. When teaching and using sign language, you can pair it with verbal language. And I like this picture for this slide because it's a great example of this interaction between mother and child. The child's holding a leaf, and so they have a visual of a leaf and what it looks like. You can also vocalize the word leaf and also show the sign for leaf as the mom is doing in this picture. So using sign language can help children transition to verbal speech because the sign acts as a visual aid for the spoken word. Sign language allows children to have visual and auditory representation of vocabulary words, and it can help them actually transition to verbal speech as the sign can act as a visual aid for spoken words. And research has also shown that alternative communication, such as sign language, can help children develop language and verbal speech faster. It is a common myth that sign language will inhibit spoken language or will prevent development of spoken language, but that's not true. And research has actually shown that alternative communication, such as sign language, can actually help children develop language and speech faster if speech is a goal. This is a quote I found when I was doing some research. It's by Language First, which is actually a group of well, the woman who started it is an SLP who works with deaf and hard of hearing children, but it's a group that consists of ASL teachers and teachers of the deaf who support sign language and English bilingualism, specifically for deaf and hard of hearing children. But I think language acquisition is important for all children, especially ages 0 to 5, when they're developing their language skills. And Language First mission is to educate and raise awareness about ASL and English bilingualism and the importance of a strong first language foundation for deaf and hard of hearing children. This quote, I'm going to read it. It says, "If a flower doesn't bloom, we don't ask what is wrong with the flower. We ask what is wrong with the environment." And that really stood out to me because if you have a goal of speech for your child, maybe it helps to broaden that and think of the goal as language, not just speech, and how we can influence the environment and give them access to language. Because giving a child language is really giving them the power to share their wants and needs. And the Language First mindset really focuses on language development as a priority above speaking and listening skills. So before I move forward, we're going to move on to learning some functional signs, because I have quite a bit of signs to share with you guys. But does anyone have any questions for me before we move forward? And that's okay if there's more questions later. I just wanted to open it up now before we get into the signing part. These are just some tips when learning sign language or signs, especially learning them with your child. It's important to be patient because your child might not pick them up right away. And even as an adult, it's not easy to pick them up right away. It might take some time. Making it a habit really is key. Repetition is key. And we all know if you make it a habit, you'll use it more and it'll really stick. Sign what you see. Connect sign language with the world. I really like this. It makes me think of a kindergarten classroom when you're learning language and you read the room and they put like visuals with the word all over the room. You can kind of do the same thing with signs. The light, I mean, when you get to objects, you can do it with no matter where you are, at home, at the park, in the store, you can start bringing in signs. And don't be heavy-handed. Don't worry if your child doesn't get the signs quite right. Especially young children, it's not going to be exactly what us adults can do with our hands and fingers. It might be something we call an approximation, but they're getting it, they're picking it up, they're trying. Share your signs. Let everyone join in on signing with your child. Open it up to family, friends, make it a fun thing. And you can build a signing ecosystem or community filled with language. So this first slide, I wanted to focus on a handful of signs to give you guys. These are called power signs, and the purpose is to give kids power to share their wants and needs. And these are also in my next few slides, but I wanted to pull them out and have this separate page for you guys to have quick access to, so that hopefully they can reduce frustration in the moment, and by giving kids language and seeing if they can tell you what they want or what they don't want. So I'm going to back up so I can get in my signing space. Sorry, 1 second. Okay, I think that's good. So the first sign is want. And it looks like this. You're going to take your 2 hands and pull forward. Want. Want. More. You take your 2 hands and tap together twice. More. Perfect. Join in if you can. I know everyone doesn't have their cameras on, and that's okay, but I hope you're practicing. Marley, thanks for joining. It's good to see you. So the next sign is finish or all done. You can choose whatever word you want. It's your 2 hands. You're going to have your palms facing towards your body, and you're going to push them out. It looks like that. All done. All done. And it can be done one time, all done, or it can you can say finish. Yeah. The next one is look. It's the number 2 in your fingers. And it's kind of directional, like really it's from your face. You can say look, but you can use it like if you're telling someone to look over there, you can say look or look at me. That's a good one too for parents. Take your number 2 and pretend these 2 are like your child's eyes or the person in front of you eyes. You say, look at me. Look at me. Water. That's a good one. We all need water. It's the letter W, or what you guys know as a 3. In sign language, this is not a 3. This is actually a 6, but that's not important right now. So it's a W, and you take the W and tap it on your chin. Water. Water. Perfect. So those are the power signs. And maybe I'll quiz you throughout the next few signs we go through because they're going to be integrated. So we'll see if you guys remember them, but it's okay if you don't.
Megan, we
Yes.
have a quick question.
Yeah, of course.
One of our participants mentioned that they are a lefty. Is there any difference, or does that matter? Can you address that?
That's a great question. In sign language, you're gonna sign with your dominant hand, with being whatever hand you write with. So these signs, you can sign with your left. That would be your dominant hand. So that's usually the one that moves when there's 2-handed signs. Which I'll see if there's any better examples, and I'll show the left-handed way. But it's kind of up to you as well. Like if you sign with your left hand and that feels comfortable, stick to that. But if right feels more comfortable for you, that's fine too. Awesome. All right. So I kind of categorized these in a few different categories. You'll see as we go through. The first one is family. I thought this was kind of important. It's good for kids to know who these people are in their lives and give them language for that, and a little picture aid as well. So we'll start in this first column with mom. So mom's a 5 hand shape, and at the chin it's mom. Mom. Grandma is very similar. You're going to start in the same place, and you kind of do 2 hopping motions out. Grandma. Grandma. Sister is like an L hand shape, and you're going to switch it out here. And you start at this is a 2-handed sign. Let me see if you can see it. So you take 2 L's, 2 L's. And you start at the chin, and you cross on your wrist, sister. Yeah. So this actually comes from the sign for girl, if that helps. That's not, girl is just your thumb, and it slides on your chin. So then sister is girl. It's like that, sister. Moving on to the next column. Yeah, that looks good. So these signs are very similar, except in sign language, it's commonly known that the female signs are going to be this lower half of the face, and the male signs are the top half. So dad is the same hand shape as mom, but it's on the forehead. Dad. Yep. Same with grandpa. It's up here, it starts here, and it's the same motion as grandma. Grandpa. There you go. Looks good. Good job. Brother is the same as sister, except you start at the top. Brother. Brother. Yep, the boy, brother. Family. So family, this is an F hand shape. That's an F in sign language. You're gonna start with 2 F's, and you draw a circle, I guess. You start here at your thumb and your index finger, and you bring it around and end in your pinkies. Family. Perfect. Friend. So this is an X hand shape in sign language. You take your index finger and you bend it. Yep, friend. And you take both. and you crisscross them. Friend. Awesome. And I know I put the sign language pictures here so you guys can see, and I know videos are the best. So you can always go back and watch this Parent Academy for videos, or I will try and post resources, but there's great resources that are deaf, run by deaf people, and it's an ASL dictionary with videos if you ever need a refresher, or the picture, you kind of forget the movement. The picture's not the best. Videos are better than pictures, but I put these pictures here to help as a guide. And then our last family sign on this page is baby. And you're gonna, basically it's gonna look like you're holding a baby. Baby. Yep. Baby. Next. Activities. I kind of want to start in the middle. These are really important, I think. So signs for yes and no. So yes is a closed fist, and you're going to mimic this motion with your yes, like you're nodding with your hand. Yes. Perfect. Yes. No is it's like you can start in a 3-hand shape, but you're going to put your thumb out and it looks like this. No. Sorry, but when you sign it, it's going to be this way, but I'm just showing you how it's going to look. You're saying no. Perfect. No. Play. Take 2 letter Y hand shapes. They look like this. You go play. Back and forth. Yep. Perfect. You guys are pros. You guys are really getting this. Share. I think sharing is a really important concept and word to have. Share. So you take 2 open palms. So this one is a good example for your dominant. If you're left hand dominant, your left hand will go on top of your right hand. And it feels weird for me because I'm not a lefty. And you're going to wiggle it. So now for a right-handed, your right hand goes on top of your left hand and you wiggle it back and forth like that. Share. Share. Does that make sense for our lefties? Awesome. There's a sign for look. Do you guys remember the sign for look? Yep. Look. There you go. Look. Yeah, starts here. Look. Look at me. Want. We did that one too. Yep. Hand palms out and pull in and bring the fingers in. Show what want. Like something's out there and you want to bring it closer to you. More. 2 like letter O hand shapes. Perfect. Yep. And tap them together twice. I've seen it done more than twice. Kids might keep going, but more. Finished or all done. Perfect. Start with your palms in and push your palms out. All done. Emotions. Emotions. There are so many more emotions than this. It was hard for me to narrow it down, but I hope this is a good place to start. So happy. You take that same hand shape, close your fingers, and you put it at your chest and you brush up. Happy. Yep. Happy. Sad. You take the same hand shape, but you're going to open your fingers and you start at your face and you bring it down, like mimicking tears rolling down your face. Sad. Tired. Tired. You take your hands, place them at your chest. Yep, looks good. And then you tired, you kind of slouch. I drop my head, kind of tired. There you go. Yeah, I'm tired. Excited. So you take 2 open 5 hand shapes And then your middle fingers kind of stick out a little bit like that. And you put it at your chest, and it's kind of like happy, but instead of going at the same time, you alternate. Excited. Excited. Angry. Angry. So you take the 5-hand shape, but you're going to make it a claw. Kind of bend your hands, and you start kind of below your chest to get your torso, and you're going to go up. Angry. And that's one time. Angry. Hurt. I think this one's so important. Hurt. And they can show you where. You can kind of ask them, but this is a sign for hurt or pain. So you take 2 number 1s, and really you go in, but it's with a little twist. But it's okay if it's not perfect with your kiddos. If they can do this, that's probably a good approximation. But you kind of start out and you push in. Hurt. Hurt. Yeah. And that's good too. You can just point where, but hurt is good because sometimes they're just crying. Are they sad? Maybe they're hurt, and they can point where on the body that they're hurt. Personal needs. Sleep. I think that's a really important one. Sleep. So you take your 5-hand shape, and you're going to put it in front of your face, and you're going to bring it down and close it to that O hand shape. Sleep. And I close my eyes when I do. I mean, it's kind of sleep, part of the facial expression, but you don't have to keep them closed. Sleep. Help. Help. So it's like an A hand shape. Looks like a thumbs up. And then your non-dominant hand. So if you're a lefty, it'll be on your right hand. Help. Help. Yep. Help. Hungry. Your child is crying. Are they hurt? Are they sad? Maybe they're hungry. You're going to take the 5-hand shape, kind of, or I guess, sorry, make a C. We'll start there. Make a C hand shape. And you're going to put it right below like your neck, like top of your chest, your neck, and bring it down one time. Hungry. Yep. Just one time. Hungry. Nice. Medicine. I thought this was important. Some of our kiddos need medicine, or if they don't really know what's going on, they can have the language for it. So your flat hand, and you take that same hand shape for excited, the 5 with the middle finger out. Yep. And you're gonna touch, and you go back and forth in the palm of your hand. Medicine. Yep. Medicine, like time for medicine, or just medicine. Brush teeth. So before I actually start, these signs didn't have, in my application that I was using to make these slides, they didn't have images for the signs. So this would be a great time where you can use the internet, and I'll post resources, or you can rewatch this video, but we're going to go over these together. But I apologize, there's no visual sign for these words. But brush teeth. You take your index finger. This is your toothbrush, and you go like that. Back and forth. Brush teeth. And I smile when I do it. I don't keep my mouth closed. I kind of show my teeth. Yeah. Brush teeth. Bathroom. So you take, this is the letter T. You take your thumb, put it between your index, your middle fingers, and you make sure this is out. This is letter T, and want this out, and you shake it back and forth. Bathroom. Perfect. Bath. I put bath and shower. They can kind of be used interchangeably, because this is, I'll start with the sign for shower. It's this hand shape, and you show the water. Shower. And I've seen bath is kind of water, and then you take and like clean yourself, bath. Yeah, bath. So I put both, and really you can use the sign for shower and show the picture of bath. That's fine. It's whatever your child recognizes on the picture if they need visual support. Meals. Start with eat. You're gonna take your hand, it's this hand shape. And you eat, you put it in your mouth, food or eat. Just like that. And this can be used for food as well. Drink. You take your hand, pretend like you're holding a cup, and you show yourself drinking it. Drink. I put the sign for more here as well. I know we put it on another slide, but if you're using these visual aids, I think it's important to have more in the meals. If you're during mealtime, if you have this visual aid, you can have the sign for more on this page as well. So for more, take your hands, tap together, more. There you go. And finished. We did finished. Do you guys remember? Finished. There you go. And these can be used interchangeably. Like we're giving these to children and parents. So if you're asking them all done or more, you can kind of say all done, more, and you can say which. That's a good way to set up a question if you want. Kind of show them both, like more, all done, or you can show on the picture which one and encourage them to do the sign as well as show the picture. Whatever works for your child. And then I gave some options for beverages that our children's drink. So juice is the letter J off the cheek. Juice. 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 Yep. And then water. The W. Water. Milk. Milk can be signed with one hand. I've seen it more with one hand. The picture shows two. And you take your fist, yeah, and you squeeze it, milk. Like you're milking, kind of like you're milking the cow. You can do one hand. Awesome.
Hey, Megan, there's a lot of interest in coffee. What's the sign for coffee?
Oh, I can show the sign for coffee. That's important too. So you take two hands like the milk, except you're going to put your dominant hand on top. And then you swirl the top hand on the bottom. That's coffee. Coffee. And that's all my signs that I had for you guys.